Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the Firm. I am ATG, Al Technology Gore. I'm here with LTC, Lance Technology Cayko. It's making it work for me because I'm having issues.
He's having troubles.
Visuals. Hey, I call BS that you could see clearly. Erin is our marketing gal. That you could see clearly those thumbnails. You probably looked after she changed them. Admit it.
No, I looked
Admit
before.
it.
I looked before.
You're like, oh, I can read those. There's no way I have to squint.
My eyesight is in the reverse of yours. I bet you can see. I bet you can read signs like far away, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like you can. Mine is I can't see far away stuff.
You can see close stuff.
I can see really tiny close-up stuff.
Do you have glasses though?
For the far away stuff.
Okay. So when you put on your glasses, the clear stuff doesn't become unblurry.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of buy it. Al can't see Gore here.
Yeah.
And if you
if you're sending him an email, 140 point font.
Please do not. I will just
with the impact font. 140 points.
You will not
Gold.
work with me. Besides Aaron, who's joking and messing with me.
Somebody please send him an email. AKG at F9productions.com. Copy me, LMC at F9productions.com.
That's
Thank
not
you.
my email. That's a fake email.
Yep.
Speaking of seeing the future, futures in rocket ships, especially Revit rocket ship.
Oh my gosh. Did you know 10 years ago, Elon said we're going to be on Mars? But that's okay. I know, but that's okay. Like, come on. I like Elon's gusto, as you guys know. If you guys know, we're fanboys. But, I mean, I looked at the Cybertrucks even this week, and it was like mid to end of 2023. And I'm going, 2024 then. Okay.
Why you got to do that to me?
I don't know.
I have
And
a dream.
I even looked up the one I ordered, and it's the triple motor because I went all out. And then I looked at the prices, the original prices.
Yeah.
Not bad. Like, I can't believe how actually not bad for what you get. In my opinion, like a state-of-the-art, brand new,
right.
Amazing, gonna revolutionize that class of vehicle. You only got the dual?
Dual.
Poor.
I'm a poor. I think the price is going to go up $10K each.
I know.
Yeah.
It has to, actually.
Yeah. A lot of inflation. But I want my Cybertruck in 2023. That's where my brain power is going to.
You ordered yours like a week before mine? Maybe only a couple days. Something like that. I think you're right. I think it was probably a week. So that week is going to translate to like a quarter in terms of the difference between when you get mine where I get, yeah.
Unless they do high end first.
Ah, yeah.
Then yeah.
Yeah.
Then can I change mine to the high end?
Yeah. But
RevitRocketShip.com. If you're trying to make enough money to buy a Cybertruck, you should get really efficient at what you do most of your time. And that is in Revit. And literally the course is so cheap that charging 10 times what it is worth it. Because you'll learn the template, you'll learn the systems, you'll get the families, you'll get a new way of thinking. Go check out RevitRocketShip.com. Money back guaranteed within the month. If you do not like it, just email me. You already have my email. It's also on
the 150 points. Oh my God. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go buy Revit Rocket Ship right now if you've been thinking about it. And then because you bought it,
you can
email Al, 150 point font. Fantastic. Yep. Copy me.
I love it.
Okay.
Amazing. Give a shout out on the podcast.
See, if that isn't just good enough, if that reason alone isn't a good reason for you to buy Revit Rocket Ship, I don't know what to do.
Yep. Then you ain't sellable.
Exactly.
Yep.
The other thing I want you to check out is ARCCAT.com. As more businesses and tenants demand green design in their buildings, LEED certification is more important than ever. And while ARCCAT is known for being red, they can help you go green. ARCCAT provides thousands of LEED reports from building product manufacturers on how their products can help you make the green choice. That's right, for your project. Head over to arcat.com and find the information you need for a lead. That's ARCAT.com. Last but certainly not least, one of the most important, tied for number one, sponsor of this podcast, PetalLuxury.com/the firm, PetalLuxury.com/the firm, a world-class collection of brands brought together to provide window and door solutions to the building industry and beyond. Duratherm and Riley are the true pioneers of industry. They are doing what no one else has done, building and designing beyond the status quo. These brands do not push beyond the limits. They set them. Explore PetalLuxury.com/the firm today. Back to you, Mr. Tech Genius Al.
Let's talk about the economy.
Let's go.
It's good news and bad news. Let's start with the bad news first. CNN this week, might be CNN Business, yep. The title of the article is "The Fed May Have to Blow Up the Economy to Get Inflation Under
What does
Control."
that even mean? What does that even mean?
Here we go. The Federal Reserve is most likely going to raise interest rates, which they did, to 3/4 points on Wednesday, which they did. And possibly another increase of that magnitude could come in December. But the big question for many investors and consumers is, will the Fed send money into the economy into a recession with these massive rate increases? Anyways, what I'm getting at in this article and why I wanted to bring this up is just to get your reaction on the title, and then also actually go there. I'll do a 2-part question.
Well, as you talked about on the last episode, and you got me on the Al Gore train of thinking of they have to. They could actually possibly thread the needle absolutely 100% perfectly, wherein they don't raise rates to the point of blowing up the economy, while at the same time, basically, it's sort of just kind of evening out with inflation. The problem is, though, is that it keeps going up. I don't even know what this chart is, but it looks horrible. Oh my gosh!
Don't even look at it.
Any chart that I see with a hockey stick curve freaks me out, right? Because what goes up must come down. Yeah. So, but it seems like this inflation with the rate it's going, and because earlier this week, I think it was this week, Germany came out with their inflation numbers, and it was 10.4%. That's insane. And then the Fed turned around, and then they even said this week, 2 days ago, they raised rates by another 3/4 point. So they might have to blow up the economy, but this just goes right back to, like, if you don't understand, and this is what I was trying to get across to people in the architect community, and they got offended by what I was saying, because I said the question was, are we going to have to start preparing for layoffs? Is there going to be a downturn? And they were like, nope, I've never been busier. Dude, everybody said that leading up to 2008. We're never been busier. Oh my God, this prices just keep going up. Like, why wouldn't they keep going up? The demand is there. And I've said that about this time with housing. And it actually is true this time. Like, the demand is there because we have a housing supply shortage, but the reason why it's more true this time is because we have even more bureaucracy and red tape. Plus, don't forget, during the last recession, all these builders and a lot of architects too said, I'm never coming back. Like, oh yeah, this is it, and I am quitting. Alex and I have talked about this many, many times on this show. We lost a lot of old school people that were just
knowledge.
Seasoned.
Yep.
We lost a lot of knowledge. We lost like generations of that. And sure, there's more builders. Me and Al are builders. Go to architectsguide2.com to figure out how to become a builder yourself as an architect. But the Fed might have to blow it up because they can't get inflation under control. And so meaning they might have to just keep raising rates until the point where the money freezes up, which then blows up the economy in the freezing way, because if you can't borrow, how are your projects getting funded? And so all it's going to take is for that money to seize up, and it'll happen just about overnight again, just like it did in 2008, 2009, where it just instantly happened. It was in 2009, actually, sorry, at the end there in that quarter. It just froze. The market, literally, they could not fund the lending rates. Right. Go watch the short squeeze. But go watch the big squeeze.
It was September 2008.
Yeah. Go watch the big squeeze.
Yeah.
And then you'll know how it froze up.
Yep.
and that's why, like, okay, sorry, back to the Entre Architect people that were like, all I said was, you guys have a delusional. This is a delusional take to think that you're not going to be influenced and affected by this macro system, which is modern monetary theory, MMT, which is a fancy way of saying we just print money out of thin air, which is done by the Federal Reserve, which is a game system, and this is exactly why the Fed might have to blow up the economy. Like, they have no choice.
But okay, and this is what I was getting at.
Sorry.
This the Fed has two policy levers, massive ones that they use. One is the interest rates, and two is printing money or taking away money. And it says, the title of the article is, the Fed may have to blow up, right, the economy to get inflation under control. They only have to do that because of what they did. Here is that graph that Lance was talking about before, and it was how much they essentially printed, which is their Fed balance sheet.
If you are watching on the YouTube, you'll see.
Here.
But if you're listening terrestrially, Al will describe what we're looking at.
Yep. So I'm going to go in
it's a chart.
Trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. So right before 2008, they were at $870 billion. Then after in 2000, basically the end of 2008, 2.25 trillion. So they almost tripled it. 2.25 trillion in 2008. If you go all the way, they kept going up to 2.8 trillion in 14, and then all of a sudden at 2014, they're up to $4 trillion of printed money. They finally started to pivot and come down in 2018, which is what they should have done.
They were tapering.
2019, they're tapering down to 3.8. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and they went from 3.8 to a high of 8.9.
Double, which is exactly what I
almost
have.
9 trillion.
Which that's where if you remember, like that, we've talked about this article 2 times now, which is the Federal Reserve has printed in less than 2 years. They printed all the money that's ever been in existence. That's what it's right there. 9 trillion divided by 2, and you get to 4.5 trillion. That's it. That's where the inflation comes from.
Yep. So this is it's weird. Inflation is going to do its work too. Here's another thing, but holy cow, we'll get to the rest of the articles, but like, if they do blow it up, it's because they messed it up to begin with.
Yeah.
They mess it up to begin with.
That's why it's so important for you to really consider trying to extend the cash flow and considering building and having those projects that are funded ready to go. Like, it's hard to predict exactly when this is going to happen and when there's going to be a reckoning, but it certainly seems like, if I put my tinfoil hat on, they're holding everything together ahead of the midterms, which is 4 days before our midterms election here, and maybe they'll let go of this Band-Aid effect of holding it together, and they'll be okay with the bad news. They better do it sooner rather than later so that they're ahead of everything in 2024, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
so that like the economy isn't a big forefront thing for the administration.
Yes. Yep.
That's all conspiracy talk, but it's plausible.
Yep. Second article. Consider typical.
Because not everybody works.
Yep. So going to 6.4 from a 3.5 isn't the worst. And this is where basically what I'm hoping for is the miracle that they thread the needle. Paul said yesterday, this is what's so funny. The reporters asked him a bunch of questions. And what he said is he's not concerned about over-tightening. And do you want to know why?
I do.
Because just like they showed in the pandemic, we can easily infuse capital into the market. Which
you see what I'm saying? And
which means then you're just going to cause the inflation again.
Right.
You're just going to cause the inflation again.
If they were smart, here's the thing. If they were smart, if they really had a holistic approach to this, and they were okay with sort of taking the mask off, meaning just openly, this is a game system. Like we control the whole thing. We could, they would work with whatever administration is in charge, and they would say, "Hey, if you want a good economy, like we can start printing money again. That's no problem. We can start printing money again. It's easy. We just Control P on our keyboard. Done.
Okay.
It's just zeros, just numbers. But the only way we're going to tamp down the inflation this time around is like you got to deregulate almost everything. You have to make it so business can be done at the easiest level it's almost ever been done, so we have a surplus of everything. Everything.
Literally open up the oil fields, open up the mining, open up the factories,
cut corporate tax rates to nothing so people come back here and start manufacturing, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that ain't gonna
because what you're doing there is the money has increased, but your solution to this or proposal is, then we have to increase the supply. We have to increase the supply.
Yeah.
Right?
Just basic economics. Yeah.
Another good news. U.S. job reports grew by 261.
I saw that.
In October, unemployment's raised right to 3.7. Again, in the threes. There's a nice graph. Lance will put this on the YouTubes. Payroll, basically still adding jobs, not losing jobs. Unemployment rate is 3.5, 3.7.
Yep.
No big deal.
Still tight.
This is the one that still is kind of concerning. Look at this. Labor force participation still below pre-pandemic.
People are still not working, huh?
Yep. So
neato.
Yep. That is difficult. Last thing for me, I've been talking about this guy, but finally I can tell you. I watch this guy. He's pretty cool. He has the name of his YouTube channel is Clear Value Tax. He should really change it because he talks about the economy all the time. He has 1.5 million subscribers.
I know. I was like, wow, I mean, clearly he's popular.
Yep. And also, it's just him and his background. Just a beige background. Him in his suit and tie and all that. And he's pretty awesome. He's pretty straightforward. He's pretty much cuts through all the BS. So if you want to follow him on YouTube, go ahead. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, happy Twitter layoff day. And so on that note, Elon is supposed to lay off 50% of the Twitter staff today. For me, I have no remorse for those people. But on that note, then I was looking up firing people, and I just wanted to find if there was either a funny clip or some advice here. And Warren Buffett came up, and this was a clip from years and years ago, but it's his. I think he gives the best take about when you take over a corporation like somebody like Elon is doing, and what it means to what the importance of trying to keep certain managers on and not, and how he feels it out and everything like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go, Al.
You obviously have filters that you apply on selecting people as you do on stocks. Can you tell us a little bit about what those filters are?
That is a key question, because when we buy businesses, we don't have managers to put in them. I mean, we're not buying them that way. We don't have a lot of MBAs around the office that we're...
Thank God.
Yeah. That I have not promised that they're going to have all kinds of opportunities. So, as a practical matter, we need management with the businesses that we buy. And 3 times out of 4 or thereabouts, the manager is the owner, and is receiving tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars. So they don't have to work. And we have to decide in that time when we meet them whether they love the business or love money. And we're not making a moral judgment. Charlie may, but I'm not making a moral judgment about whether it's better to love the business or love money, but it's very important for me to know which of the two is the primary motivator with them. And we have had extremely good luck in identifying people who love their business. So all we have to do is avoid anything that, on our part, that diminishes that love of the business or makes other conditions so intolerable that they overcome that love of the business. And we have a number of people working for us that have no financial need to work at all. And they probably outwork 95% or more of the people in the world, and they do it because they love smacking the ball. And we virtually had no mistakes in that respect. And we have identified a number of people, Charlie and I have, in terms of proposals to us, where we felt that they liked the money better than the business. They were kind of tired of the business, and they might promise us that they would continue on and they would do it in good faith, but something would happen 6 months later or a year later, and they'd say to themselves, why am I doing this, for Berkshire Hathaway when I could be doing whatever else they want to do? I can't tell you exactly what filter it is that we put them through mentally, but I can tell you that if you've been around a while, I think you can have a pretty high batting average in coming to those conclusions, as you can about other aspects of human behavior. I'm not saying you can take 100 people and take a look at them and analyze their personalities or anything of the sort, but I think when you see the extreme cases, the ones that are going to cause you nothing but trouble or the ones that are going to bring you nothing but joy, I think you can identify those pretty well.
Interesting. Very insightful.
Yeah. So for me, what it did is it explained, like he talked about, sometimes we fire him right away. I mean, he didn't say it. He said it without saying it. Like, that's the thing, is like, you can tell that, well, first of all, 3 out of the 4 of the companies, he said, and I was just some off the cuff, but like 3 out of the 4 of them, the manager is also the owner. Well, okay, now let's go down to the 3 that is the manager is the owner, right? Then he went on to basically say, like, well, even after 6 months, like they keep up for 6 months, but they got a huge payout. It just, after a while, it just makes sense for them to go, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I got my payout. Like, why am I still here? Right?
Yeah, he said those are the people he doesn't do business with.
Yeah. So doesn't it make sense that Elon came in there, cleaned house day 2?
Because
Elon, much like Warren Buffett, I mean, Elon's the richest man in the world. Elon, though, much like Warren Buffett, has done enough of these acquisitions and run enough companies to know that, like, I'm not even going to entertain the idea of keeping these people around.
Because I
their
think
heart won't. Their heart might be in it for 6 months, on day one of the 6 month period, but every day it incrementally gets worse, and they grow out of it. And it's like, yeah, why would that person be on my team?
No, but are you thinking all these employees are getting a big payout?
No. I'm only talking about the CEO.
Oh, the CEO.
All the heads. It was CEO, CFO, something else was the first day was let go. I'm not talking about the employees.
Yes, but there's a difference. Here's the difference. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett's strategy is he buys companies that are already working well, and he identifies those, and he doesn't buy the companies where the CEO is going to do this.
Yes.
And then it continues just to grow. He has his office in Omaha. He buys McDonald's. He plays backgammon with Bill Gates, right? That's what Warren Buffett does. Elon Musk didn't buy this thinking, hey, this is great. I'm going to just let it keep running,
right,
and I'm going to make a bunch of money, right, like Warren Buffett did. It was,
I'm just coming at it from a different
angle.
Right.
And I just have to explain this. It's hey, this is essential to democracy. It is the public square. It is one-sided. This is a huge problem. That's why I'm buying it. Oh, it's a huge problem. The people that are leading it cannot change the huge problem. They made the huge problem. So it'd be like firing the Fed because they put you in this condition and having someone else do it. And then also the layoffs are because, I mean, it hasn't been making money. Now it needs to make money.
It's even worse. His tweet this morning said it was even worse because then a bunch of advertisers have pulled out.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
So
Got to do it.
there you go. Yandon, ready for the next one?
Yep.
A.R.E. Jeopardy. Let's bring down the crew. Question number 1. What size do fire riser room doors have to be? Is it A, 3070, B, 3068, C, large enough to allow the removal of the largest piece of equipment, or D, 21068? D, C. C. It is C. Large enough to allow the removal of the largest piece.
I like
of
that.
Yeah. I love they're like, we're not going to give you a size. Just make sure you can get out what you can put in there.
Of course.
Yep.
But even so, like, is that a code now or is that just the...
No, that's code.
Oh.
That's literally in the code.
Okay, could you... Here's where I'm going with this. Yeah, which
Yeah.
Ross is... I mean, you and I have many conversations about the fire riser room. Yeah. What I'm getting at is, like, what could you make the argument where you say, let's say inspector comes and he's like, sees the equipment. He's like, there's no way you can get this back out. And we're like, yeah, we can. You don't know how we got it in? And I go, yeah, we took off the leaf. We uninstalled the jam. And then we got it in and out. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah. I mean, some people...
Yeah.
Well, we had to... I helped a neighbor move his fridge and we had to take the door off.
That's what I'm saying.
Things happen.
Okay, anyway.
Yep. But if it was even bigger than that, then...
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. Sprinklers are not required in bathrooms for Group R occupancies if they do not exceed how many square feet? Is it A, 55, B, 50, C, 70, D, 25? Don't try to look at me like I'm going to give away the answers.
Is that-
like this
could
is
you-
some
could you
poker
feel her?
game?
Could you
Yeah.
feel her? Could you
Yeah,
feel her?
she's like, oh, he's going to... yeah, this poker. I ain't giving nothing away. I ain't even rereading shit. Trying to game the system.
Game it up.
Everyone's waiting to copy you. A, 55.
Reeves got it?
Game the system.
Wow, nice. Number 3. Collusion. Number 3, if a register doesn't have operable fins, but just a grate or wire weave, it is simply known as what? A, plain register. B, grill. C, register without. D, non-compliant register. Yeah. I know. I'm good at that. Correct answer is B. Looks like everybody's got it. Number 4, an electronically controlled valve that can go from open to close rapidly is called what? A, rapid valve. B, quick valve. C, solenoid valve. D, valvenator.
Ooh.
Punch.
Can you say A and B again?
A is rapid valve. B, quick valve. C is solenoid valve. D is valvenator. Gresh picked A. Ross picked C. And you picked
I said A, rapid ramp.
A. Ross got it. C, solenoid.
If it has solenoid in the answer, that's the answer.
All right. So what is...
Yes.
What are...
Wow,
what do we got?
I got 2. You got 3, I think. Oh.
2.
Tiebreaker, Al.
Do we have a tiebreaker?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to...
Ross is out.
All right. So... Yeah, but he already knows the answer.
So now it's between you two.
Yeah, but you only get 3 guesses, and if you don't, then Ross automatically wins.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
According to the IRC, the sill height of an emergency escape window shall not be more than how many inches off the ground? Whoa! Where are we eating it?
Pizza.
For real?
Yeah.
If we are doing pizza, I revote for The one down on First.
Oh, the one on South Station?
It's very good.
South Station. Yeah. Boom. That's it.
Awesome. Well, if you are watching on the YouTube, please like, subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us a 5-star review. We'll see you next week.